Hi, everybody. Okay, I want to thank first Matthew Street for alerting me to this. He was talking about a video that was made by Wings of Pegasus. And I've seen at least one other video that Wings of Pegasus had made before, where he was discussing the album called Let It Be Naked and how there was some auto tune done to it that some of us, I know I, didn't even notice back in the day when it was released in the early 2000s. Well, there's a new thing going on here that everybody's up in arms about, that being more about, I'm sorry to say, the John Lennon Power to the People 2025 release. But I'm not as upset about this one as I am about some of the other things that have been going on, and that's what I want to talk about here. Okay, now let me start this way. Several days ago, in this month of August, on the John Lennon site, there was a new version, 2025, of John doing Come Together, the Beatles classic, at the one-to-one concert. I watched the video, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought John, looked good, he sounded good, really enjoyed it, and didn't think much of it. Now, I'm familiar with Come Together from the one-to-one concert when it was released way back in 1986 on the John Lennon Live in New York City project. Okay, now I'm listening to the new one, the 2025 mix, and great. Then I see Matthew Street's video, which alerted me to the Wings of Pegasus video, and look, obviously the person, I think his name is Phil, from Wings of Pegasus, knows what he's talking about, and he's got a lot of talent, and he's got a lot of instinct, and he can tell what's going on in these types of things. I don't have that. I am not a musician. I am not a singer. I do not know technical details like that. And I have to tell you, after watching Phil's video about Come Together, I'm glad I don't, because for the life of me, I don't understand how certain people that are so in tune to hearing auto tune or pitch correction, which is what this is about, or different changes in the attitude or tone of a singer's voice. How do they ever enjoy a song? I mean, I say that, in a snarky way, but I am serious. How can you ever enjoy a song when you're that sensitive to these things? Now, on the Wings of Pegasus channel, he was pointing out how apparently it is true that on Come Together, John's vocal on the 2025 release version apparently has been pitch corrected. Not that there was anything wrong with John's voice when he sang it really in 1972. It's just that he was pointing out how John gave his own personal attitude and feeling behind it, and now he claims it's been altered. Now, when I say claims, it's not a false claim. It's apparently a true claim, because on Wings of Pegasus, he actually shows a graph. He did the same thing with Let It Be Naked when Paul was singing Along the Winding Road on another video. He shows you the lines and how they dip and how they move, and little changes, like maybe you'll see a line that had a little wave to it, and now it's a little more straight, and another line has a little bit of a little ding of a spot on it. That means that it's changed. I respect the knowledge, and I respect the work that went into that. Believe me, I'm not taking anything away from that person, Phil. Not taking anything away from him. But I'm just trying to say that I don't care. Is what it comes down to. I had no idea when I was first listening to the new mix for Come Together, and again, I'm talking about Madison Square Garden one-to-one video performance of that John's voice is supposedly pitch corrected and auto-tuned or whatever it is. I couldn't tell the difference. Even when he was playing samples, Phil played a couple of samples where John says like one syllable, I think he's saying he got monkey finger, and it's like, 2 or 3 syllables, and listen to this, and he says, now listen to this one, listen to how it's been pitch corrected. You know, it loses something, and I'm like, I'll tip my hat to you for that, but I don't notice it. I can't hear it, and I'm glad I can't hear it. Sounds good to me. So I think this is, in some ways, much ado about nothing, and this is nothing new. This has been going on now for forever. All kinds of live concerts have tweaks and, in some cases, sweetening, and I think they even have times where the vocals have been even being re-recorded by the artist sometimes for live releases. This is nothing new, and it seems that they do this now. This is specifically relating to the video performance, the concert video of this is what we've got to go by. Does this mean that on the new Power to the People box set, due out October the 10th from the Lennons, does this mean that also the audio of the concert is going to have this change? I'll tell you one thing, if it does, it's not going to bother me. I mean, I can't even tell, as I say, and I haven't minced words recently when I was talking about some things I was not pleased with the upcoming Power to the People John Lennon Yoko Ono box set. A couple of songs that are omitted, but that's in the past. You can see that video. I'm not going on about that here, but I'm going to defend them when it comes to this particular thing. It doesn't bother me. Now, this is just me, one person. Do I think it's a good thing, or is it right morally? And as a purist, is it right that you alter a vocal even a little bit, even slightly? No, probably not. If I had my choice, if you asked me, Joe, would you rather they left it alone the way John did it exactly and don't tweak it in any way? I'd say yes, that's what I prefer, definitely. But now that they've done it, do I care? Not one iota, at least based on the way it sounds so far. As time goes on, I'll give honest opinions of what I think when I hear the whole set. But I think, come on, let's give some breathing room here for a change to these people, okay? I'm not wild about instruments like saxophones and things disappearing, but that's not this discussion. But if John Lennon originally in 1972, and as presented, say, originally on the first airings and videos of his performance at Madison Square Garden, if he originally sang G and then he went to a G sharp, I believe it is, but now the Lennon team has decided, instead of him going from a G to a G sharp, or take the sharp off and just have him stay at G, big flipping deal. I don't know. I still hear plenty of attitude in John's vocal on Come Together. I don't see that it's totally a different animal at all. I'm just giving you my, as always, 2.5 cents on this. I know some people will agree with me. I know that, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me. Remember, before you comment, I'm not saying that I advocate, really, this. If it was up to me, I'd say don't change it. But because it's always been a practice when it comes to enhancing live performances, whatever that might mean, I understand, in a way, and I can forgive this. That's about it, folks. Let me know what you think.